On orientation day, all beast-taming freshmen gathered to select their spirit beasts. In my past life, the class valedictorian chose a nine-tailed silver fox with the purest bloodline. As the bottom-ranked student, I got stuck with a mongrel brown bear of the most diluted lineage. Soon after, the great frost descended, and through our bonded contract, I gained my bear's innate skill, cold resistance. The nine-tailed fox chosen by the class monitor froze to death on the first day of the apocalypse before it could mature. Consumed by jealousy, the class monitor conspired with other students to kill and cannibalize both me and the brown bear. When I opened my eyes again, I'd returned to the day of spirit beast selection. When the monitor chose the brown bear before I could, I knew they'd been reborn too. Little did she know, the brown bear was reborn alongside me. I barely scraped into the beast-taming department of Gaowu University with the lowest entrance exam score. On orientation day, our homeroom teacher brought 30 spirit beast cubs to class for students to choose their lifelong companions based on academic rankings. As the class dunce with rock-bottom grades, I had to wait till last for my pick, when everyone had made their choices. All that remained for me was a brown bear with the most diluted bloodline. Just as I reached to pick up the bear, a girl's voice suddenly shouted, "Wait!" Loretta, the top student who'd finished selecting her spirit beast first, stood up clutching a snow-white fox kit with nearly translucent fur and rushed toward me. Without explanation, Loretta shoved the white fox into my arms, then snatched up the lone brown bear from the crate as if afraid I'd take it back. "You take the white fox, I'll have the brown bear." The entire class gaped in shock at this exchange. Even the homeroom teacher frowned disapprovingly. 1. Everyone knew this white fox cub had the purest bloodline among the newly arrived spirit beasts, with 80% ancient lineage purity, far superior to some common brown bear with merely 20% bloodline purity. The difference between them is like night and day. No one could understand why Loretta would give up the white fox to choose a brown bear instead, the teacher urged. "Loretta, choosing a spirit companion is no joking matter. It determines your future potential." Quickly swap back with Fiona, biting her lip with glistening eyes. Loretta declared selflessly, "Fiona needs this white fox more than I do. My grades are excellent. I'll progress quickly with any spirit beast, but Fiona's cultivation talent is average. If she's stuck with such a mixed-blood brown bear, her entire future will be ruined. I insist on exchanging spirit beasts with her." Loretta's words drew thunderous applause from the entire class. Everyone was deeply moved by Loretta's selfless spirit. The homeroom teacher praised Loretta. "Cultivation begins with the purity of one's heart. Your flawless benevolence will carry you far, even if your spirit beast isn't the strongest." Then she frowned at me. "Fiona, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and thank Loretta." I blinked and extended the white fox forward. "No need to trade with me. I actually really like that brown bear." Loretta's eyes flickered with unease as she clutched the brown bear tighter. The way she frowned while hugging the little bear made it seem like I'd bullied her. She spoke softly. "Fiona, you don't need to test me. I genuinely want to trade with you." I wasn't buying her act and insisted, "Really, no need." Before I could finish speaking, something suddenly bit the webbing of my right hand. Looking down, I saw the little white fox had bitten me. With crimson beads of blood welling up from the wound, the fox then extended its tongue, giving my skin tingling little licks. Before I knew it, the white fox had initiated a pact with me on its own, and not just any pact, a blood oath binding our lives together. My classmates stared at me, erupting in mocking jeers. So Fiona wasn't refusing Loretta's offer out of ignorance. She was putting on this whole act, pretending to return the white fox while secretly forming a contract. Terrified Loretta might change her mind. Never seen someone try to have their cake and eat it too like this. After forming a contract with the white fox, it drowsily closed its eyes and fell into a deep slumber. Listening to the murmurs around me, my aged face flushed crimson with embarrassment. Little did they know, I genuinely despised this useless white fox in my hands, forced into a contract by the little white fox. I could only endure the scornful glances from others and return to my seat in bitter resignation. Only I knew this seemingly coveted white fox would become a useless burden in half a month. No, Loretta knew it too. The moment she abandoned the white fox to compete with me for the brown bear, I realized she was reborn. Just like me, in our past life, Loretta chose the white fox, leaving me bound to the unwanted brown bear by default. Little did we know. The frigid apocalypse arrived just half a month later. The entire planet plunged into absolute frost at -50 degrees, turning Earth into a giant freezer. The noble-blooded white fox required a longer growth cycle compared to other spirit beasts with mixed lineages. When the frozen apocalypse came, the white fox was still just a milk-dependent little runt, froze to death on the very day the apocalypse arrived. My brown bear, nurtured with meticulous care, has reached adolescence and awakened the shared talent ability. In -50-degree temperatures, it shared its innate skill cold resistance with me. I became the last person who'd fear freezing in this apocalyptic world. I joined the school's supernatural squad on a supply run, during which Loretta repeatedly tried to seduce the brown bear into breaking our contract to become her familiar, only to be rejected each time. Humiliated by constant rejection, Loretta spread rumors that consuming the bear's flesh could grant cold resistance. During another expedition, Loretta conspired with others to slaughter both me and the bear. In this cannibalistic apocalypse, we became mere provisions for their survival. I gazed sorrowfully at the brown bear in Loretta's possession. In my past life, we'd shared an unbreakable bond to comrades who'd trust each other with our lives. Never did I imagine she'd steal him from me in this incarnation. Losing my innate skill cold resistance doesn't bother me much, but my heart aches thinking whether the brown bear gets enough food and warm shelter with Loretta. As I was spacing out while staring at the bear, its beady eyes suddenly met mine. To my surprise, the toy-sized cub deliberately winked at me twice, not once, not thrice, precisely 2 blinks. My heart swelled with joy. 2 winks had been our secret signal in our past life together. 2 blinks, that's his way of telling me everything's fine. From how I'd tried to keep the brown bear around earlier, he'd realized I was reborn too. Now he's using the same method to show me he's also reliving this life. At this thought, I couldn't help but shoot Loretta. You're on your own. Look, don't let that dopey brown bear appearance fool you. This one's a full-blown honey-coated menace. My eyes locked intensely with the brown bear's when suddenly, tiny warm lips closed around my fingertip. Looking down, I saw my ridiculously pampered white fox. That gorgeous but utterly useless little troublemaker had woken up. I'm not useless, a voice rang out, dripping with aristocratic pride yet still carrying the sweet lilt of infancy. And you, woman, don't you dare look at that dark-skinned freak. I poked the little white fox with my other hand and whispered, was that you talking? The fox gave a haughty sniff and lazily rolled over in my arms. I realized I shouldn't call him a white fox. Young master would be more fitting. My name's Lionel, woman. Though you may call me young master if you prefer. I poked his forehead. Listen here, you little brat, who taught you to be such an edgelord? At the lectern, our homeroom teacher began demonstrating how to draw a contract sigil on the blackboard. Most familiar contracts are initiated by humans. Beastkin are inherently prideful, while their young are relatively docile. Only a rare few will ever propose a contract upon encountering a human they favor. After the briefing, my classmates began attempting to form contracts with their spirit beasts, everyone except me. Who would have believed I'd get forcibly courted by a noble white fox if they hadn't seen it themselves? Lionel, why did you initiate the contract with me? Lionel wrinkled his nose. That woman reeks, I teased. Loretta's the campus belle. Countless guys are literally chasing her scent. Lionel scoffed. They're blind. Her soul stinks. What about me then? I joked, poking fun at him. The white fox in my arms nuzzled deeper into the crook of my leg, its tone slightly awkward. Not bad, sweet. Suddenly I understood why Lionel forced that contract on me, like shoving a perfectly good cupcake into a pile of shit. Who wouldn't be terrified? When bored, I'd scratch Lionel under the chin. The Arctic fox's fur felt amazingly soft and thick like a giant cotton candy puff. I alternated between stroking his ears and squishing his belly, but ultimately couldn't resist that irresistibly fluffy, tantalizing tail. Too, they say you should never touch a fox's tail, but he's just a kid, so of course we can't let him off the hook. That fluffy white fox tail was practically begging to be squished by Mom. The moment my hand brushed against his tail, Lionel froze like he'd been shocked, his pale skin flushing pink beneath the snowy fur. Stop that, woman, you pervert. She looked exactly like a bashful bride who'd been taken advantage of. I blinked and awkwardly withdrew my hand, then I turned the tables. Kid, get your mind out of the gutter. Lionel's eyes welled up with tears of frustration before he huffily turned away, completely ignoring me. In the classroom, Loretta was the first to complete the contract formation. A flicker of triumph crossed her delicate features as she initiated the pact with the brown bear. The contract formation enveloped the bear, spinning rapidly. Within the formation, the brown bear channeled its spiritual energy and stealthily altered 2 strokes of the magic circle. The formation silently transformed from an equal contract into a master-servant pact. Only now, the brown bear became the master, and Loretta the servant. This was an ancient formation we discovered together in ruins during our training journey. Never imagined the brown bear would now use it to trap Loretta. The brown bear who just sealed the deal with Loretta gave me a triumphant glance, so I stealthily hid my hand under the table and gave him a thumbs up. That's why you should never cross an honest man, woman, you wicked woman. A petulant voice exploded in my ears. Oh, there goes my Tsunder, a little lordling with his middle schooler arrogance and paper-thin pride. How am I being bad? I absent-mindedly pinched his squishy cheeks, surprisingly soft despite their lack of flesh. You touched my tail, then had the nerve to flirt with another man, some sunburnt freak. Lionel's voice grew increasingly plaintive. I let out an almost imperceptible sigh, just another jealous little lordling throwing a tantrum. After all classmates completed their contracts, the homeroom teacher distributed cultivation resources to each student. I kept one spirit stone for myself and fed the rest to Lionel as treats. Lionel crunched through 19 spirit stones like they were potato chips. I hadn't even left the classroom when all my spirit stones were already depleted. My classmates stared at me with bewildered expressions. Has Fiona lost her mind? She fed an entire week's cultivation resources to that white fox. Was she even paying attention in class? Doesn't she know spirit beasts have slow growth cycles? You can't rush their feeding. Those spirit stones were mainly meant for our own cultivation. What a waste giving that contract to the white fox. Even the homeroom teacher frowned. Some students should remember spirit stones are allocated in limited quantities each month. The school won't provide extras if you waste them. I knew the teacher was talking about me without naming names. I replied obediently, I understand, teacher. To be honest, I was extremely generous with cultivation resources toward the brown bear in my past life. While most students split resources with their spirit beasts at a 4:1 ratio, I always divided them equally with my brown bear. I believed that since we were partners, we should share everything 50-50, yet even with the brown bear, I was never as lavish as with the white fox. He got 90% while I kept just 10%. Not only did my classmates think I'd lost my mind, I was starting to believe it myself. It suddenly hit me: the white fox and I were bound by a blood pact. With ordinary equal contracts, neither party is affected if the other dies, but a blood pact is different. It's a life-for-life bond. If the white fox froze to death on the apocalypse's first day like last time, I'd be a goner too. So now, this ancestor's life is more precious than anything else. For the remaining time, find your own spots to practice. Everyone, carrying the white fox. I walked out when Loretta suddenly blocked my path with half her body. In a whisper only I could hear, she said, I know you've been reborn too, this lifetime. It's my turn to contract the brown bear and master frost resistance. I curled my lips. Then you'd better make sure to survive. Loretta's eyes gleamed with triumph. With my grizzly, survival's guaranteed. As for you two losers, enjoy freezing to death on doomsday's first dawn. The Arctic fox in my arms lazily cracked an eyelid to glance around. He lifted his rump and blasted Loretta with an earth-shattering fart. Loretta's composure shattered instantly as she shrieked and stumbled backwards several steps. Fiona, are you insane? Get that stinking fox away from me, TCH, I chuckled, cradling the white fox as I turned to leave. Beast rearing was a bottomless pit. Procuring vast amounts of spirit stones became an impossible dilemma. As I absent-mindedly tugged at the white fox's fur, a sudden realization struck me. In my previous life before the apocalypse, the media had exposed a small spiritual vein. Judging by the timeline, that vein should still remain undiscovered, with the white fox in tow. I immediately hit the road toward the spiritual vein without a moment's delay. When I arrived at the approximate location marked for my past life, to my surprise, Loretta had already beaten me there. As the heiress of a prominent family, Loretta's connections and resources far surpassed anything an ordinary person like me could muster. Standing at the periphery of the spiritual vein, I could only watch helplessly as she directed 20-some burly men in harvesting its energy. The white fox nestled in my arms, watching as one dazzling translucent spirit stone after another was mined. Swallowing hard with longing eyes, I covered the fox's eyes abruptly. Don't look, cub, these spirit stones are low grade. Mom will take you somewhere better to forage. Carrying the fox, I kept glancing back every few steps. Just as we were about to leave, a delighted voice suddenly echoed in my mind. Sister, is that you? I halted mid-step, bear, then asked. You've learned telepathy. That Loretta woman really splurged on me. Used a soul-waking herb to grant me mental communication. The brown bear added, Sis, why don't you take the white fox somewhere to rest first? I'll call you when we've mined all the spirit stones. As our mental conversation with the bear concluded, I snapped back to reality to find an enormous, exquisite fox face studying me with suspicion. Lionel planted his front paws on my shoulders, his proud fox face mere inches from kissing me. Warm breath brushed my face, none of the musky wild fox scent, just an indescribable hint of delicate fragrance. What are you doing? Lionel glared at me indignantly. Woman, how dare you cheat on me? I grabbed the fox by the scruff of his neck with one hand, pulling him off me while giving his fluffy cheeks a disciplinary pinch with the other. Watch your language, brat. Lionel sniffled, his voice tinged with genuine hurt. I'm not wrong. Your soul reeks of bear musk. It's that dark-skinned one, isn't it? I arched an eyebrow. This little fox had quite the nose on him. Lionel continued his accusation. In our white fox clan, whoever we form a blood pact with becomes our lifelong mate. You can't go sneaking around with that brown bear. My cheeks flushed slightly. Little brat, what do you know about mates at your age? Lionel's eyes welled up with unshed tears as he flailed his paws in an exaggerated air-swimming motion. I leaned forward and stuck my tongue out at him, my damp, pointy muzzle tapped against my cheek. Before I could react, the culprit quickly withdrew its head and whispered, "I kissed you, so you're my mate now. This spot's mine. No one else gets to kiss here." I stood frozen, my lips twitching involuntarily. Did I just get flirted with by a baby Arctic fox? I left the spirit vein to the brown bear while carrying Lionel back to the car. We cooled off with AC and munched on watermelon. Then found a documentary to play on the center console screen. The film was so dull it had me nodding off in no time. When I woke again, dusk had settled in. The remote mountain woods held not a single light, swallowed whole by the soundless dark. Right then, the brown bear's message came through. "Sis, hurry over, they've all left," I answered. Looking down, I saw Lionel glaring at me with wary accusation. I instinctively felt guilty. Genuinely experiencing the awkwardness of a cheating spouse caught red-handed, I explained, "We weren't talking about anything else." Lionel turned away sharply. "No explanations. I won't listen. I'm not speaking to you all day, under the night sky." I carried the white fox in my arms, step by step approaching the ley line's location. Just as the brown bear had told me, the area around the ley line was deserted, leaving only a concealment array to hide its presence. The white fox watched me approach the ley line. Though curious about my purpose, it stubbornly kept its earlier vow of silence. Pouting with suppressed curiosity, I paced around the magic formation when suddenly the brown bear dispelled it. Poking its head out to look at me, now able to speak, it waved at me and called out, "Sis, come quick." The white fox in my arms bared its teeth at the bear the moment it spotted him, curling up defensively with a vicious snarl. I quickly covered the fox's muzzle and shot the bear an apologetic smile. The white fox is a bit mischievous. The brown bear led the way ahead. "It's all right, sis. Don't be mad at your little brother." I covered the white fox's mouth, but his voice exploded in my mind. "Holy shit, he's a two-faced snake, a dark-skinned schemer. Let me go. I'm gonna kill him. I swear I'll kill him today. Fiona, don't stop me." No man can tolerate seeing his woman cheat right in front of him. "How dare you hook up with this two-faced bitch right under my nose while I'm still breathing? What kind of man hides behind women? Let me go. I'll settle this with him once and for all." "So noisy. How noisy? Way too loud." Glancing at the faint spiritual energy rippling around the brown bear, I loosened my grip with a soft snap, letting the white fox leap to the ground. Lionel, sprawled on the ground, turned back to stare at me in disbelief. He clearly hadn't expected me to actually let go. He inched toward the brown bear at a snail's pace of 0.008 meters per second, glancing backward every few steps. On his fourth hesitant look back, he shot me one last uncertain glance. "Not even gonna stop me? What if I beat your precious lover to death?" 3. I glanced at the spiritual energy radiating from the brown bear. After gorging on spirit stones all afternoon, its power level was easily 50 times greater than the white fox's. At this point, it was anyone's guess who'd kill whom. I smiled playfully at him. "Relax, show me your warrior spirit. If you take him down, you'll be the only one in my heart from now on." The white fox nervously scraped its claws against the ground, visibly tempted by my words, but after stealing another glance at the bear's intimidating aura, it sheepishly retreated to curl up by my feet again. "All right, since you're genuinely remorseful this time, I'll let this little rendezvous slide, but don't let it happen again. Me, //." The brown bear divided the spirit stones from the ley line into 3 piles. It kept a tiny pile for itself, leaving one small pile and another massive mound the size of a hill. "Sis, I'll just keep these." Lionel stared at the massive pile of spirit stones with greedy eyes, his jealous voice echoing in my mind. "Woman, that dark-skinned fellow is being awfully generous with you." The brown bear pointed at a small pile and said, "Big sis, this should be enough for your cultivation." Then gesturing toward the enormous heap, he added, "Give all those to little brother." "Holy shit," Lionel's dramatic voice rang out again. "Woman, that dark-skinned guy isn't into you." "I think he's into me." I flicked Lionel's forehead. "Is your brain wired for romance? You see flirting everywhere." Lionel still looked defiant. So I murmured, "Do you still want those spirit stones?" He instantly behaved. I looked at the brown bear with concern. "I've emptied this place. Will Loretta hurt you?" The bear shook its head. "Sis, that woman obeys my every word now." The next day, Loretta stared dumbfounded at the depleted spirit vein, stammering, "Why you used up all these spirit stones." The bear nodded. "This puny little spirit vein, barely a snack for me." The brown bear continued, "Didn't you say I needed to awaken the innate skill frost resistance within 2 weeks? I just tried sensing it, and I think I can feel the barrier to awakening." Hearing this, Loretta's expression softened slightly, but she still couldn't help grumbling about how the bear had devoured the entire spirit vein yet only gained a minuscule amount of spiritual energy. "At least you can awaken it, but your bloodline is truly inferior. All that consumption for such a pitiful energy gain." The brown bear scoffed. "If you had issues with my lineage, You shouldn't have chosen me in the first place. I never begged to be selected. Now I'm under so much pressure that my innate abilities might not even awaken properly. Loretta knew how invaluable the brown bear's innate skills would become when the polar apocalypse arrived in half a month. Panicking at the thought of the bear's abilities failing to manifest, she blurted, "Don't stress, that's not what I meant at all. If I cared about bloodlines, I wouldn't have chosen you." "Fine." The bear conceded grudgingly, "But I'll need spirit stones for cultivation. Have someone deliver more, nothing excessive, just 10 truckloads will suffice." Loretta gritted her teeth so hard her gums bled. 10 truckloads, the brown bear scoffed. "Is that a lot? Get me 10 truckloads, and I might just awaken an advanced talent skill, 10-mile cold resistance, protecting everyone within 10 kilometers from freezing." 10 kilometers, Loretta's eyes gleamed with naked avarice. If the Ice Age apocalypse came, she could make an entire 10-kilometer radius immune to cold. At that point, wouldn't she basically be the Ice Queen of the apocalypse? Loretta gritted her teeth. "Fine, just wait, 10 truckloads it is. I'll get them for you. When the apocalypse comes, money is just worthless paper." Though Loretta came from a powerful family, everyone dismissed her warnings about the coming Ice Age apocalypse as a joke. They found it even more ridiculous that she wanted to waste 10 truckloads of spirit stones to awaken a useless frost-resistant trait in some low-bloodline spirit beast. Cut off from family support, Loretta had to sell everything she'd ever been given in the family home, cars, all her designer handbags and jewelry. When I saw Loretta at school again, she was wearing the same outdated outfits, eating nothing but plain steamed buns with chili sauce for lunch. It was clear she'd poured every last penny into the brown bear's care, but she'd never know. After selling all her worldly possessions for 10 truckloads of spirit stones, the brown bear kept only a tiny fraction for herself. The remaining 99% all ended up in mine and the white fox's pockets. I only used 1 or 2 spirit stones occasionally to practice cultivation, just so I wouldn't forget how to wield spiritual energy. All the remaining spirit stones, I gave to the white fox. The white fox devoured spirit stones at an alarming rate before falling into deep slumber. Any stone placed near him would instantly be drained by a powerful suction force, crumbling into dust. Just the spiritual energy feedback from the white fox's cultivation had already made me several times stronger than my previous incarnation. As for Loretta, her current spiritual energy couldn't even match the strength of other students in class. For the sake of the brown bear, she didn't use a single spirit stone on herself. The brown bear kept gaslighting her. "If I fail to awaken my talents because you skimped on 1 spirit stone, don't say I didn't warn you." Everyone said Loretta was washed up. From the very first day when Loretta bizarrely chose the weakest, least talented brown bear, people thought she'd lost her marbles. Loretta scoffed at the gossip. "What do you know? Just wait. You'll see I was right all along." The day before the apocalypse, in the sweltering summer heat, temperatures suddenly plummeted overnight, and snow began falling across the globe. At first, people joked about the June snowfall, saying it must signify some great injustice, but by noon the next day, global temperatures had dropped to -20 degrees Celsius, and unease began creeping in. The weather is so abnormal. Could this be a sign of some impending disaster? The snow keeps falling harder and harder, with no sign of stopping, fearing potential accidents during the snowstorm. The school has recalled all students to campus. In the girls' dormitory, Loretta shivered as she bundled herself tightly in a quilt. Having neglected her cultivation for some time, her spiritual energy had dwindled to barely more than an ordinary person's. Her nose was red and raw from the cold, constantly dabbing at it with tissues. "Brown bear, has your innate talent awakened yet?" The brown bear lumbered about, lazily gnawing on spirit stones. After 10 days, its frame had expanded several sizes, now entering its adolescent phase. "Take it easy, almost there." A growing suspicion crept into Loretta's heart. She probably thought, in her past life she was just a penniless girl. Even if she explored ruins everywhere, the spirit stones she could provide the brown bear would be far fewer than the resources she's supplying in this lifetime. How come the brown bear awakened its talents in the previous life, but seems to be struggling in this one? Brown bear, are you keeping something from me? The brown bear feigned anger. "After all my hard training for your sake, you'd actually doubt me now? I thought even if my innate abilities aren't fully awakened yet, I could at least share some warmth with you. But fine, take these spirit stones back. I don't need them. My thick fur will keep me alive without your precious stones." Loretta panicked immediately. "I was wrong. This is all my fault. I just spoke in anger. Please keep using the spirit stones. Nothing matters more than awakening your innate abilities. I'll let you off this time." The brown bear snorted coldly before resuming gnawing on the spirit stones. Between bites of spirit stones, the bear spared a wisp of warmth for Loretta, just the slightest warmth. He'd hate for Loretta to freeze to death before the real apocalypse arrived tomorrow. That'd ruin all the fun. Feeling the faint warmth envelop her, Loretta stopped doubting the bear's intentions. After forming a beast contract, both human and beast cultivate spiritual energy while reciprocally transferring 1/10 of their gains to each other. The spiritual energy the brown bear transferred to Loretta remained consistently feeble, proving it had absorbed scarcely any power. Little did Loretta know, this wasn't due to the bear's poor absorption, but because their master-servant contract allowed the bear to arbitrarily decide how much energy to share. In another dorm room, I curled under blankets watching movies on a projection screen. Every spirit stone in the room had turned to dust, yet the white fox lying on the cashmere rug still hadn't awakened. Unbeknownst to anyone, the fox had already shed its juvenile form, growing into the full stature of a mature spirit beast. I stepped off the bed and checked the fox's breathing. Its faint pulse still lingered. The wall clock inched toward midnight as the true apocalypse loomed. In this life, the white fox probably won't freeze to death on the very first day of the apocalypse. Boom, the midnight bell tolled. Global temperatures plummeted precipitously once again. The thermometer indoors shows the room temperature has plunged to -50 degrees. As a cultivator with the white fox's spiritual feedback, my chi reserves make this level of cold negligible. Outside, the snowfall intensifies, piling up as high as a full story. The homeroom teacher initiated a roll call in the group chat for status updates. The school stands ready to dispatch rescue teams for any struggling students. Due to the extreme cold weather and staff shortages, the school urgently recruited volunteers. I signed up as a volunteer to distribute supplies to students in various dorms. When I reached Loretta's dorm, I deliberately walked past it. As classmates began confirming receipt of supplies in the group chat, Loretta added me, "What's going on? Where are my supplies?" I immediately posted several photos in the group chat, clear evidence of Loretta stockpiling massive supplies from the supermarket in advance. I said, "The school announced critical supply shortages, with this heavy snow showing no signs of stopping anytime soon. Shouldn't we reserve these resources for those who need them most?" Classmates started flooding the group chat with comments. Did our class monitor get some insider information? Why else would she hoard so much food and daily necessities? With all these supplies already, how dare they still compete with us for resources? Isn't she the class leader? Why can't she share the supplies with us? Loretta suddenly found herself being morally judged from a high ground. Loretta tagged me again. "Stop pretending. You knew about the coming Ice Age apocalypse too, and hoarded just as much. Why don't you share your portion?" I handed out 2 empty instant noodle boxes. "I have no idea what frozen apocalypse you're talking about. Everyone knows my family's poor. I only bought so many instant noodles because they were on sale at the mall, and I've already distributed them all to my classmates," the teacher confirmed in the group chat. The 10 packs of instant noodles everyone received were all distributed by Fiona from her own supplies. The classmates started making sarcastic remarks again. "Did everyone see that? Fiona's way more generous than you." Loretta couldn't win the argument and went silent in the group chat, but she'd already slid into my DMs. "Fiona, what good is your reputation now? That useless white fox you keep must have frozen to death by now." Holding the sleeping white fox's face, I sent Loretta a video. "Is this the pig-like sleeping fox you were talking about?" Though its eyes were closed in the video, the deep, rhythmic breathing left no doubt this fox was living its absolute best life. "No way, you must have pre-recorded this footage. That useless fox grows so slowly and is so delicate it must have frozen to death by now." I yawned and didn't reply to Loretta's message. Despite my spiritual barrier, the bitter cold still chilled me to the bone. As I rummaged through the closet for an extra blanket, a wave of warm spiritual energy suddenly enveloped me. This warmth felt intimately familiar, the comforting heat from Brown Bear's shared cold resistance ability. "Bear, how can you share your innate skill with me without a contract?" "Sis, I've successfully awakened 10-mile cold resistance." It suddenly dawned on me that the Brown Bear's innate ability was never just cold resistance, but rather 10-mile cold resistance. But in my previous life, my capabilities were ultimately limited. I simply didn't have enough spirit stones to fully awaken all of the bear's innate skills in such a short time. To protect me, the brown bear forcibly awakened its ability, resulting in only a watered-down version of cold resistance. I asked her with a cheerful smile, "How's Loretta doing?" The brown bear shared its vision with me. Confident that the awakened brown bear would resist extreme cold, Loretta didn't bother buying extra blankets. Now she's huddled under a summer quilt, her face frozen purple and teeth chattering uncontrollably. Haven't you awakened yet?" The adolescent brown bear leaped onto the bed and with a single butt shove, sent Loretta tumbling to the floor. The impact between the icy floor and rigid flesh produced a sickening crack. Who knew how many bones were shattered? Loretta grimaced in agony, crying out through clenched teeth. "What the hell was that for?" the bear announced. Got some good news for you. My awakening succeeded. Loretta's eyes lit up with excitement, completely forgetting the brown bear had just thrown her off the bed. Hurry, share your skills with me now. I'm freezing to death. The brown bear snorted. When did I ever agree to share anything with you? Loretta shrieked hysterically. I'm your master. I bankrupted myself spending all those spirit stones to awaken you. How dare you refuse to share with me? We've formed a pact. Even if you refuse to share, I can still wield your powers. Loretta frantically tried channeling the pack's magic to borrow the brown bear's abilities, only to realize she couldn't access its power at all. The bear sneered, "Open your eyes wide and see what kind of pact we've truly forged." Upon closer inspection, Loretta discovered 2 runic arrays had been tampered with. The brown bear's eyes flashed with contempt. "See this clearly. It's a master-servant contract. You think you're worthy of sharing my skills?" Loretta lay frozen on the ground. You've been reborn too. On the day the frigid apocalypse arrived, global temperatures were no longer being disclosed. Just like in the previous life, the power grid, water supply, and internet systems collapsed completely. That night, many never woke up again. 5 days later, complete chaos engulfed the school as desperate students began raiding other dorms for supplies. Outside the door, several upperclassmen had me in their sights, assessing my current strength. With the brown bear's frost guard protection and the white fox's spiritual energy boost, I realized even most teachers stood no chance against me now, even if they outnumber me. I'm not the least bit afraid. As the frantic knocking pounded at the door, spiritual energy gathered in my palms. Before I could strike, a tremendous force suddenly radiated outward from my chamber, just from the sounds alone. I could vividly picture the chaos unfolding outside, bodies tumbling in disarray. The white fox remained curled on the rug with closed eyes, while a voice born of divine consciousness projected outward through my room. A chilling yet commanding voice rang out, "Get out." The intruder scrambled away in panic. I stroked the white fox's head. "Lionel, are you waking up?" Some tried to break into Loretta's dorm too, but the brown bear drove them all away, thanks to the brown bear's presence. Loretta isn't dead yet, but she's hanging by a thread. She lay on the ground, the stench of broken bones oozing from her wounds. Each time she nearly passed out, the bear, conveniently answering nature's call, would drench her face in its reeking piss. The bear called it a gift, warm and fresh, just to keep you from freezing. Brown bears have excellent memories, and they hold grudges, drawing from his past life memories. He tracked down every last accomplice who had conspired with Loretta to murder us, ending them all with his fangs. The remaining people at school bore him no ill will, so the grizzly abandoned stealth and activated his 10-mile warmth ability. A divine warmth surged through everyone within the school grounds, as if blessed by celestial protection. Even Loretta, lying there awaiting death, finally experienced the comforting embrace of warmth. A scalding warmth surged through her body. What might have been a blessing to others became the very curse that hastened her life's ebb. Not just her bones, countless organs had been fractured in the earlier impact. The sub-zero temperatures had slowed their decay, freezing them in time. But now, abruptly thawed, like some half-defrosted microwave meal, Loretta's organs began their systemic collapse into putrefaction. She lay motionless on the ground, shifting slightly as if searching for a less agonizing position. Foul-smelling pus oozed slowly from her eye sockets, nostrils, ears, and the corners of her mouth. Her eyes remained wide open until the moment of death. 5. That morning, I awoke to an unusual warmth enveloping my body. As I opened my eyes, an enormous weight pressed down upon me from above. His chiseled face had sharp, narrow bone structure and well-defined features. Powerful arms cradled my head as he slightly lowered his gaze, revealing the tantalizing contours of his sculpted pectorals pressing down. His entire body radiated warmth like a living furnace. As I stirred slightly, those almond-shaped eyes fluttered open, revealing unnatural amber irises that held no trace of humanity. The familiar scent made me whisper tentatively, "Lionel." A smirk curled at the corner of his lips as he casually tossed the blanket aside, letting the chilly air brush against my skin. At the same time, his warm, intoxicating presence enveloped me, drawing me instinctively closer into his embrace. He shifted his weight, bracing his forearm against the bed as he hovered over me. My breath hitched as I gazed up at him, his sculpted abs taut with definition, his skin porcelain pale yet radiating raw strength. His waist-length hair cascaded like a waterfall, draping over my collarbone. A fluffy white tail swayed rhythmically back and forth. A magnetic, alluring voice murmured, "Miss me, woman." Well, that single word "woman" confirmed it. This was definitely Lionel. I shot him a glare, finally decided to wake up. Ha! He let out a soft chuckle, featherlight and meltingly sweet to the ears. OMG, his voice is so adorably whiny. "I'm totally obsessed," he stated with certainty. "You are worried about me," I said. "Well, I can't very well wish for your death." He lowered his head and suddenly pecked my lips. "Still got that sharp tongue, woman." I covered my mouth in shock. "Lionel, That was my first kiss. Lionel's grin widened. Not your first, I've kissed you before. We sealed that deal long ago. The reason he took so long to wake up was because he was awakening his innate abilities. With his noble lineage, Lionel faced far greater challenges than other beasts in awakening his talents, but after all these days, he finally succeeded. Lionel, what's your awakened ability? Lionel replied nonchalantly, enlarge. My eyes widened as my mind went to the gutter. Big. I stole a furtive glance. It did seem sizable, but for a noble spirit beast of my lineage, awakening such a skill felt rather unconventional. A smug smirk played on Lionel's lips as he teased with mock seriousness. Why so flushed, woman? Getting the wrong idea. I meant the range of my innate ability is vast. As we spoke, the snow outside had quietly ceased falling. The thick layers of clouds gradually dissipated, revealing the long-lost sun that bathed the earth in its warm glow. I heard an excited voice from the schoolyard. Look everyone, the sun's out. It doesn't feel as bitterly cold as before, thank goodness. The apocalypse is finally coming to an end. I heard Lionel's voice murmur. The white fox is an auspicious omen. My awakened innate ability is genesis of all things. Lionel's handsome face pressed against my ear, his warm breath gently caressing my neck. His fluffy tail brushed against my abdomen with playful insistence, nuzzling like a spoiled pet. How will you reward me? Story 2. After the zombie outbreak, Max's overly kind nature kicked in, and he wanted to save the new transfer student. I tried to persuade him not to go, but a line of subtitles suddenly appeared before my eyes. Lyra is just jealous of our female lead. She's been blocking the meeting between the male and female leads from the very beginning, and later she'll target the female lead everywhere, trying to steal the male lead. So vicious. Can this vicious supporting female character, Lyra, go offline soon? I really want to see how miserable she'll be when the male lead abandons her. Don't worry, this story is guaranteed to be satisfying. The supporting female character will eventually get infected with the zombie virus and suffer for 5 days before dying, and my name is Lyra. It turns out that I'm just a catalyst for the relationship between the male and female leads, a vicious supporting female character, but now the apocalypse has arrived. Who still cares about romance? As a vicious supporting female character, shouldn't I steal the limelight from the main characters? 1. Max is my childhood friend who grew up with me, and he's also the person I've had a crush on for 20 years. When the zombie outbreak happened, we were reviewing in the third-floor library. Suddenly, a classmate went berserk and started attacking people, biting anyone they saw, stopping only when they drew blood. The entire study room was in chaos. I immediately picked up a stool for defense and led Max to hide in the nearest office. I don't know how much time passed, but the chaos finally subsided. I searched the entire office and found only 2 bottles of mineral water and a few packs of snacks, which were far from enough to last us until the rescue arrived. At this moment, Ren, the new transfer student, sent Max a WeChat message asking for help. She was also trapped in the library, right above us. Max's overly kind nature took over, and he readily agreed to save Ren. That's when I saw those bullet comments. The bullet comments said that I was jealous of Ren, so I didn't want Max to save her, but luckily, Ren was smart and took revenge on the spot. On the way to save her, I was deliberately tripped by her and almost fell into the mouths of the zombies. Later, using the excuse of fairness, Ren pocketed the only food and distributed it regularly every day, but she secretly withheld my share, and the bullet comments kept praising her for being resourceful. Seeing this, I let out a cold snort. The female lead is so mediocre, yet the bullet comments can still praise her. The apocalypse has come. Who still cares about romance? Since the bullet comments say I'm a vicious supporting female character, then I'll be as vicious as can be. Max proposed again that I go with him to save Ren. Lyra, you have good physical strength. Later, you'll be in charge of clearing the way in front, and I'll cover the rear. We must save Ren. I pulled out an office chair, sat down, and crossed my legs. Who said I'm going to save her with you? Max was stunned. How can you be like this? She's our classmate. She just transferred here a day ago. I'm not familiar with her. Besides, there are only 2 bottles of water in the office, and one of them is mine. If you save her, are you going to share your bottle with her? Max sighed and his tone changed. I know you like me, but this is a matter of life and death. You can't be so selfish. If Ren comes, I'll definitely share my water with her. I don't even need to drink it myself. According to the bullet comments, Max will push me into danger countless times in the future for Ren's sake. I looked up again and re-evaluated Max. How did I fall in love with such a person? He's overly kind-hearted, thoughtless, and not very good-looking either. My infatuation with him is gone, too. In the end, I didn't go to save Ren with Max. Before leaving, he gave me a disappointed look. I saw those bullet comments again. The vicious supporting female character is so heartless, she won't even save her classmates. Lyra is just jealous. She wants to monopolize the male lead all to herself. Doesn't she even look at herself to see if she's worthy? I remember the original plot wasn't like this, but luckily, the male lead is going to save our precious girl. As soon as Max walked out of the office, the zombies outside let out low growls, and there were chaotic footsteps in the corridor. I hope their male lead can come back alive, I thought. It doesn't matter if he dies either. An hour later, a blue curtain was thrown down from the window. At the top end of the curtain were Max and Ren. Since I didn't go with him, Max changed his strategy. He first met up with Ren and then tried to move to the office directly above me and come down through the window. Max jumped down first and didn't say a word to me, as if he was still angry with me. In the past, whenever Max was angry, I would immediately apologize and try to cheer him up, but this time, I didn't move. Max felt embarrassed and leapt up to communicate with Ren, teaching her how to slide down safely. Ren was too timid, hanging at the window. She was so scared that she kept screaming, "Brother Max, what should I do? I'm so scared." Her voice was so loud that it attracted the zombies outside the door. Just then, the country issued a notice stating that zombies have very poor eyesight and mainly locate their targets by hearing and smell. If Ren didn't shut up, she might attract the zombies to break down the door. If more zombies were attracted, the office door wouldn't be able to hold them back. Thinking of this, I immediately scolded Ren. "Shut up, screaming will attract the zombies." Ren pouted, looking as if she was about to cry. Extremely aggrieved, Max gave me a dissatisfied look and coaxed her in a low voice, "Ren, be good, let's keep quiet, slide down slowly, and I'll protect you down here." That tone made me feel goosebumps all over. How come I never noticed before that Max was so disgusting? But the bullet comments didn't think so. The cold and aloof male lead is so gentle with our precious girl. It's definitely love at first sight. Real couples are so sweet. I'm dying of sweetness. It would be great if there wasn't that vicious supporting female character getting in the way. Lyra should just die already. 3. After Ren was rescued, she was still in a state of shock and hid in Max's arms with red eyes. Max coaxed her gently. The two of them were like a married couple. When Ren calmed down, her eyes darted around, looking everywhere, and finally focused on the few remaining food items and water on the table. She stood up and walked over to the food. "Brother Max, we don't know when we'll be rescued, so I think we should manage these food items uniformly and distribute them fairly." Max nodded. "You're right. Lyra, come here, let's discuss how to divide them." At this moment, the bullet comments appeared. Our precious girl is about to fight back. Who told the supporting female character to scare our girl on purpose just now? Our girl shouldn't give her a single drop of water. Later, she'll kneel down and apologize to you, begging for your forgiveness. The male lead will unconditionally side with our girl later. I'm loving this. I curled my lip in disdain. The idea that I would actually kneel down. How stupid do they think I am? I ignored Ren's gaze and directly picked up a bottle of water and 2 packs of snacks. "This is mine. It doesn't belong to the public supplies. You two can divide the rest as you like." Ren got angry. "How can you be like this? Just because you say it's yours doesn't mean it is. How are the two of us supposed to divide the rest?" Max also looked angry. "Lyra, you can't be so selfish. These were found in the office and don't belong to you. Give them back quickly." Max reached out his hand to me. In the past, whatever Max wanted, I would immediately give it to him. Even if I had to eat instant noodles for a whole month, I would still buy him branded goods. But now, water and food are essential for my survival. As a vicious supporting female character, I'm not going to give them up. I unscrewed the water bottle and took a sip. "Rescuing her was your idea alone, and it has nothing to do with me. Before you went to save her, we already divided the supplies, and you also promised to share your share with Ren." "What? Is classmate Max going back on his word?" I took out my phone and played the voice recording I had just made. "When Ren comes, I'll share my share with her. I don't even need to drink it myself." After hearing the recording, Max felt embarrassed and didn't pester me anymore. He opened a pack of potato chips and handed it to Ren. "Eat. I won't let a girl go hungry, no matter what." Ren was so touched that her voice trembled. "Brother Max, you're so kind." She became even more pitiful looking. The bullet comments were polarized. On one side, the coupled shipping group was crazily enjoying the sweetness of their relationship, while on the other side, the hate group was cursing me non-stop. I rolled my eyes at them. I had been browsing the internet for a long time but hadn't seen any local rescue information. All kinds of rescue phone numbers were constantly busy. I didn't know when the rescue would arrive, and these few packs of potato chips wouldn't last more than 2 days. How was I going to get more food next? For, in less than a day, Ren had eaten all the snacks and drank half a bottle of water. Snacks are high in salt, and eating too many makes you thirsty. A person can survive for 1 to 2 weeks without food, but without water, they can't survive more than 3 days. This bottle of mineral water was extremely precious. and I planned to save it for a critical moment. When going to bed at night, Ren complained that the office was too cold and the floor was too hard, and she couldn't sleep well at all. Brother Max, can you borrow the curtain that Lyra is using? I'm on my period today, and I'm really not feeling well. I had taken down the curtain before dark. At night, the temperature was low, and not covering up would make me catch a cold. Getting a fever at this time could be fatal. When I took down the curtain, Ren kept mocking me. Aren't you afraid of getting dirty? This curtain hasn't been washed for years. Aren't you worried about getting sick from using it? I looked at Max. He remained silent, his eyes full of concern for Ren. In the dark, I heard a voice, and Max's shadow appeared in front of me. Lyra, lend the curtain to Ren. She's in poor health. His tone was firm and unyielding. I wrapped the curtain tighter around me and turned over. Then she should exercise more. Max's hand hung in the air awkwardly. Seeing this, Ren coughed softly and weakly. Brother Max, it's all my fault. I don't want the curtain anymore. Can you hold me while we sleep? The two of them hugged each other and fell asleep. I calmly looked at the bullet comments that appeared before me. Our girl's move is so clever. Lyra must be grinding her teeth in anger. Watching the person she likes sleeping with someone else serves her right. Who told her not to give the curtain to the female lead? She's as strong as an ox. Does she still feel cold? Spoiler alert, our girl isn't some delicate female lead. Lyra is going to have a hard time tomorrow. I'll wait and see. 5. Food and water were being consumed faster than I had imagined. Max gave his food to Ren yesterday and didn't eat or drink anything himself. No, his stomach was growling non-stop. Ren suddenly suggested, Brother Max, let's go outside to find supplies. I know where there's food. As she said this, she glanced at me intentionally or unintentionally. I decided to play along and pretended to be interested, eavesdropping on their conversation. Ren said, I saw the cleaner buy a box of bread, and it's in the janitor's room. There's also a classmate who always brings a big bag of snacks whenever she comes to the library. Yesterday, I saw her in the study room next to ours. Oh, right. I also saw students from the food major in the library. They must have food there. The more Ren talked, the more excited she became. Max also lowered his head and started thinking, but my heart grew colder and colder. Was she really the female lead? Why did she only think about stealing other people's things? I spoke up. What if they're still alive? Ren looked up in confusion. Who? The cleaner, the snack-loving classmate, and the students from the food major. What if they haven't turned into zombies? How are you going to get their food? Ren sized me up and down. Don't tell me you're one of those overly kind-hearted people. It's the apocalypse now. Why do you still care about other people's lives? They can't all be alive, right? There must be one or two who are dead. Even if they're all alive, we can talk to them. Not everyone is as selfish as you. Are you going or not? If not, stop bothering me. Her tone was impatient, but I could still hear her suppressed excitement. It seemed that she had already planned how to make things difficult for me. 6. In the end, I decided to go with them. After all, I didn't know when the rescue would arrive, and I needed to prepare enough supplies. However, I didn't have any intention of stealing from others. What I had my eye on was the vending machine in the corridor. Before going out, I took out the perfume I had found in the office and sprayed it all over myself. Zombies mainly rely on smell and hearing. As long as we masked our human scent and moved carefully, we should be fine. The perfume was of the cheapest kind. Ren pinched her nose in disgust and refused to spray it on herself. I'm not as tough-skinned as Sister Lyra. Spraying this kind of perfume on me will make me allergic. Max lowered his head again and gently coaxed Ren. While acting coquettishly, Ren looked at me provocatively. Once everything was ready, we opened the door and peeked out to observe the situation in the corridor. When the zombie outbreak happened, there weren't many people in the library, so there were only a few zombies wandering in the corridor. As for the study rooms, we had no idea what was inside. We tiptoed all the way to the janitor's room without disturbing any other zombies. The cleaner was nowhere to be found, and the bread was just left out in the open. Ren rushed to hug the box. This is public property. I'll keep it for now. Max looked back at me and signaled for me not to argue with Ren. Let her have it. After all, she found it. I didn't say anything. The next destination was the study room, but there were too many zombies inside, so we decided to give up. Just as we were about to pass the study room, Ren suddenly slammed into me, pushing me into the study room. Then, she pretended to be concerned and said, Brother Max, what should we do? Lyra fell. Because of Ren's shout, all the zombies in the study room turned their blood-red eyes towards me. They let out terrifying growls, showing their excitement at seeing prey. Ren looked down at me with a mocking expression in her eyes. At this moment, the bullet comments appeared. Well done, female lead. I heard that the supporting female character almost got bitten by the zombies here and begged the female lead to save her in a humble way. So satisfying. This was ridiculous. Who said I could only beg humbly for help? I lowered my head and shouted as loudly as I could. All the zombies, upon hearing my scream, suddenly turned around and ran towards us in a bizarre posture. Ren's eyes widened. Are you crazy? Summoning all the zombies here means none of us will be able to escape. I grinned. She wanted me to get bitten in the chaos, so I would make the situation even more chaotic. As for who would survive, it would be up to each person's abilities. The mutated zombies didn't have reduced mobility. They rushed up in 2 or 3 steps. I picked up a stool for defense, while Ren hid behind Max and shrieked. I really wanted to free up a hand and give her a slap. A few seconds later, a louder noise came from the other corner of the 3rd floor. The zombies were attracted by it and ran in the opposite direction of us. I took the initiative to deal with the 3 zombies in front of me. Suddenly, a head popped out from the reading room next door. Classmate, run over here. Seeing that the zombies were temporarily held back, I quickly opened the vending machine and stuffed all the food and drinks in it into my backpack. Ren urged Max to run to the reading room. Max, surprisingly, started to care about me. Lyra, feel free to load up. I'll keep watch for you. I knew what he was up to and directly refused. I can handle it alone. Even if you help, I won't share with you. Max was embarrassed, and Ren pushed him into the reading room. After filling my backpack to the brim with as much as I could carry, I followed them in. The bullet comments appeared again, as expected of the female lead. The protagonist's halo is so strong, she met the main force right away. If it weren't for our precious girl's protagonist halo, Lyra would have died 800 times already. She should kneel down and thank her quickly. Lyra is really annoying. When will she go offline? I ignored these brainless remarks and carefully observed the reading room. There were several trapped students in the reading room, and a familiar face, the cleaner aunt. Students, are you all right? Max wanted to step forward and thank them, but Ren grabbed the corner of his clothes. We didn't ask for help, but they suddenly showed up and pretended to be good people. They must have some ulterior motives. We can't be too trusting. The ulterior motive she mentioned was the box of bread that originally belonged to Aunt Zara, the cleaner. Max seemed to be convinced by what she said and stopped in his tracks. Aunt Zara's smiling face froze in place. I took out a few bottles of water and stepped forward to give them to Aunt Zara. Thank you for saving me. This is a small token of my gratitude. My actions made it clear to them that I wasn't on the same side as Ren and Max. At night, Aunt Zara shared some of their dinner with me. When passing by Ren and Max, I didn't even give them a glance. Ren pouted. Who cares about their snacks? We have sweet and delicious bread. But the next second, she was stunned. Why are the bread all expired? How can anyone eat this kind of thing? In the corner, Max's face was hidden in the darkness, and his expression couldn't be seen clearly. 8. Aunt Zara had long recognized that the box of bread was hers and didn't argue with Ren. Hearing Ren's disgusted voice, she looked a bit sad. I spoke up in a timely manner and told them my plan. There's too little food in the library. We should move to the cafeteria. If anyone is willing to come with me, I'll share the food I got from the vending machine with everyone. The school cafeteria has 3 floors, and there are at least a dozen shops on each floor. After moving there, we can eat hot meals and hold out until the rescue arrives. Many people were tempted. Ren crossed her arms and rolled her eyes. Lyra, don't be so naive. The cafeteria is so far from the library. Who knows how many zombies there are on the way? Do you have the guts to go? I was just about to retort to Ren. Max suddenly said, Lyra, moving to the cafeteria is really dangerous. I don't want to see you get hurt. I object to this proposal. Damn it. It's so disgusting. I almost threw up my dinner. At this time, someone in the reading room spoke up. Who are you, Mr. Objector? What right do you have to object if we don't go to the cafeteria? Are we just going to wait here for death? The food in the library is limited and won't last until the rescue comes. Exactly. If we don't leave now, we won't have the strength to deal with the zombies in a few days. I agree to move to the cafeteria. Max's face turned dark from being scolded and he didn't say anything more. The transfer plan was quickly finalized. Max, surprisingly, came to me. I want to bring Ren to participate in your operation. Please, he frowned. And it seemed very difficult for him to say this. I don't agree. On what grounds? I've humbled myself and come to you. Can't you control your temper? Ren is so hungry that she can barely walk. Just give me some face. The bullet comments appeared in a timely manner, and a few of them were different from the previous ones. Lyra is just being naive. No wonder she'll die early. Why has the plot changed? It was the female lead who proposed going to the cafeteria before. And it was also the female lead who got on good terms with the cleaner aunt. The male lead is so greasy, your face is like a doormat. Doesn't anyone think the female lead is really stupid? Even now, she dislikes the expired bread and would rather starve than eat it. I silently gave a thumbs up to these 2 bullet comments. The apocalypse has come. What's the use of face? Can it be used as food or exchanged for supplies? I turned around and left, ignoring him unexpectedly. The next day, Max and Ren had the nerve to follow the team. I wanted to drive them away, but Aunt Zara stopped me. Forget it, they're just kids, let them come with us. 9. Before going to the cafeteria, I proposed going to the school broadcasting room to turn on the broadcast first. Most of the zombies would be attracted by the broadcast, and we would be much safer on the way. As soon as we went out, the zombies in the corridor all looked our way. Some people were so scared by the dense crowd of zombies that their legs went weak, and they trembled as they walked, let alone killing the zombies. I picked up my self-made weapon and accurately stabbed it into the zombie's eye socket. A second later, the zombie fell straight down. See, they're not invincible, their brains are their weakness. Stabbed them in the eyes or temples to kill them, seeing that I easily dealt with these living dead monsters. The other classmates also summoned up the courage to attack the zombies. Ren retorted, but these were our classmates before. How can you kill them without batting an eye? You're just like a murderer. When I was inspiring everyone, Ren stood up and caused trouble. The classmates who had almost overcome their fear hesitated again and put down their weapons after hearing her words. I was furious. I pushed Ren violently and pressed a utility knife against her neck, my eyes fierce. If you can't keep your mouth shut, I don't mind making you shut up forever. Seeing Ren being threatened, Max felt a bit reluctant. Ren is just soft-hearted. Why are you scaring her like this? I looked at Max coldly. Her words will get everyone killed. If you're also muddle-headed, I'll kick you both out of the team. Max wanted to say something but stopped. The bullet comments appeared. Why has the plot changed again? It was the supporting female character who was being sanctimonious before. Lyra is so cool. Is she still the vicious supporting female character? She's more like the leading lady. I never noticed before that Ren is so sanctimonious. The male lead is also so spineless. Indeed, birds of a feather flock together. I nimbly picked up my weapon and stabbed it into the zombie's eye socket, dealing with the zombie that was attacking me from behind. They're not our classmates anymore. No, they're just a group of bloodthirsty monsters. Pick up your weapons and eliminate these monsters. After my continuous encouragement, everyone started killing the zombies, except for Ren. She hid behind Max, acting weak and delicate. Max not only had to kill the zombies in front of him but also protect Ren. He wished he had more hands and eyes. A trace of dissatisfaction flashed in his eyes. After successfully reaching the broadcasting room, we turned on the broadcast and played songs on a loop. When the broadcast sounded, all the zombies went crazy and ran towards the speaker, their red eyes fixed on it. We took the opportunity to leave the library and head to the cafeteria across the lawn. 10. Most of the zombies in the cafeteria were also attracted away by the broadcast. Only a few zombies with broken legs that couldn't run fast were crawling on the ground. After entering the cafeteria, we closed the door first and then cleared out the remaining zombies inside. After clearing the disabled zombies in the hall, we inspected each kitchen compartment. After making sure there were no more zombies, we were so exhausted that we lay on the ground and didn't want to move. Great, we don't have to eat potato chips anymore. I really want to eat meat. I really miss the braised chicken and iron plate rice in the cafeteria. Ren suddenly volunteered to go to the back kitchen and cook for everyone. Aunt Zara saw that she was alone and followed her. Auntie can cook, you just help Auntie pick the vegetables. But a few minutes later, a scream came from the back kitchen. When we arrived at the scene, we only saw Ren sitting on the ground. Aunt Zara's throat was tightly bitten by a zombie beside the cabinet, and blood was gushing out. Ren hurriedly explained, someone who was bitten was hiding in the cabinet. When Aunt Zara opened it, she was bitten. It has nothing to do with me, but what she said sounded very strange. Would a normal person be in such a hurry to argue that it had nothing to do with them? But the most important thing now is to deal with the zombie. As for Aunt Zara, no one had the heart to do anything to this kind and generous aunt, seeing that she was about to turn into a zombie. We had to move her outside the cafeteria. While doing all this, Ren hid in the corner and mumbled, "It's better for this kind of person to die. She's just a burden at her age." Everyone was secretly sad, and no one noticed Ren's abnormality. The bullet comments revealed the truth. What kind of female lead is this? Aunt Zara was clearly killed by her. It was Ren who opened the cabinet first. When the zombie pounced on her, she pushed Aunt Zara out. I really hope Ren will go offline quickly. She's so despicable. Seeing this, I couldn't hold back anymore. I grabbed Ren's collar and pressed her against the wall heavily. "Tell me, did you kill Aunt Zara?" Hearing this, Max stopped trying to stop me and stood behind me. She was still arguing, looking at Max with red eyes. "Brother Max, it really wasn't me." As she spoke, she started crying. "I'm so useless. I couldn't protect Aunt Zara. You can punish me." Max softened his heart and grabbed my hand. "Lyra, you can't do this. Ren doesn't have the ability to fight the zombies alone. I know you got along well with Aunt Zara, but her death can't be blamed on Ren. It can only be blamed on," he sighed and continued, it's just that she wasn't fated to live. I was so angry that I slapped Ren with all my strength and pushed Max to the ground. Get out, both of you get out of here. Max, use your pig brain and think, if Aunt Zara opened the cabinet first and was bitten, would she be facing away from the zombie, and you, Ren? Don't think that crying and shedding a few tears can cover up the fact that you're a murderer. At this point, even a fool could figure it out. Max stood there, stunned. Ren stood in front of me and insisted, Aunt Zara's death has nothing to do with me. On what basis are you kicking me out? The cafeteria was taken by all of us, not just you, Lyra. This isn't fair. She even dared to mention Aunt Zara. I've really never seen such a vicious female lead. Fine, you want fairness, right? Then let's have a vote. 11. The voting results came out quickly. Everyone unanimously agreed to kick Ren out of the cafeteria. We've all seen Lyra's abilities. On the way from the library to the cafeteria, she killed the most zombies, and she's really trying to help everyone. So, I trust her. I remember you. You stole Aunt Zara's bread and even disliked that it was expired. The good bread was wasted by flushing it down the toilet. Aunt Zara didn't hold it against you. But you caused her to turn into a zombie. We definitely won't agree to you staying here, right? Who knows, maybe one day she'll push us out to block the zombies. I definitely don't dare to stay under the same roof as her. Ren was stunned. She thought that with her protagonist halo and her pitiful appearance, she would be admired and looked up to by everyone. In the apocalypse, she should have enjoyed the freshest food and a clean shelter. But the truth slapped her in the face. Ren looked at Max, her last hope. Brother Max, I really didn't kill Aunt Zara. You believe me, right? If I'm kicked out, I'll definitely die. You know that I don't have the ability to protect myself. Max was silent. He knew that if he pleaded for Ren at this time, he would also be kicked out. Without food and shelter, they would soon become the zombies' food. Looking at Max's evasive eyes, Ren erupted. Lyra, you bitch. You're just jealous of me. You're jealous that Brother Max is nice to me. So you're trying to frame me. Now that everyone is on your side, are you satisfied? You'll die a horrible death. Sooner or later, you'll be eaten by the zombies. But what's the use of just being tough with words? This is the apocalypse. Only those who are strong enough to survive the zombies have real ability. Before Ren was kicked out, Max couldn't bear it and secretly gave Ren some instant food. Ren didn't appreciate it and smashed the food to pieces. 12. Since Ren left, the bullet comments hadn't appeared for a long time. Max also seemed to have changed. He tried his best to get my attention. When I started cooking, he washed the vegetables and rinsed the rice beside me. If there was something I wanted to eat, he would search for recipes and make it. I don't eat fat. So he carefully removed it bit by bit until only the lean meat was left. One day, he summoned up the courage to sit beside me and asked, Lyra, you said you would like me for a lifetime. Does that still count? I was stunned. It took me a long time to remember that I had said that to Max when we were playing house when we were kids. I was just being naive when I was a child, Max said seriously, but I took it seriously. I got into the same university as you and chose the major you like. I can also feel your feelings for me, so, can you be with me? I found it ridiculous. The university I attended is a 211 university in our province. He was just lucky to get in. He only chose this major because his mother signed him up for it. It has nothing to do with me. I did like Max before and narcissistically attributed everything to the fact that he also had feelings for me. But since the first day of the zombie outbreak, when I saw those bullet comments, I disenchanted myself with Max. In my eyes, he no longer had that special filter. He was just an ordinary person. Where's Ren? I asked. She's just a classmate. I have no relationship with her, so that's how it is. They hugged each other for warmth every night when they slept and he protected her behind him when there was danger. Now he said they had no relationship. I became even more disenchanted with Max. He didn't even have the courage to openly admit his relationship with Ren. How could such a cowardly man be worthy of confessing his love to me? 13. That night, there was a rustling sound at the entrance of the cafeteria. I thought it was just zombies passing by, so I ignored it, but after a while, there were people talking in low voices. Are you sure there are no zombies in the cafeteria? Of course, we took over the cafeteria and cleared it out. There's also countless meat and vegetables in the freezer. It can sustain us for a year, guys. Put in some effort to pry the door open, then we'll have something to eat. I immediately woke everyone up and told them to be on guard. I pulled open the thick curtain and saw the faces of the people prying at the door outside. As expected, Ren was among them. The leading boy had a fierce expression and was muscular. When he saw us, he smiled maliciously. I thought there was no one inside. Since there are people here, open the door quickly. The zombies have been attracted here, at this moment. the bullet comments appeared. Lyra, don't open the door, he's lying to you. Once you let them in, Ren will immediately ask these people to tie you up and take over the cafeteria alone. Ren will also drug you and give you to these people to play with. Damn, I've never seen such a despicable female lead. She's not even human. A classmate wanted to open the door, but I stopped him and shook my head. This group of people wasn't made up of students. Which student would pry open a door? And I seemed to have seen this fierce-looking person somewhere before. The people behind him were all dressed in shabby clothes, but they were holding steel bars and knives. They were probably the construction workers behind the dormitory building. We were just a few unarmed college students. If we let them in, the consequences described in the bullet comments would come true, and the culprit, Ren, was hiding behind them, looking at me provocatively, as if she thought that relying on these people, she could easily step on me. I said to the leading man, the cafeteria has 3 floors, there's no one on the 2nd and 3rd floors, you can go up the stairs outside. I tried to keep my tone calm and not show any clues, but he still had a playful smile, stayed at the door, and even signaled the people prying at the door to continue. We came all the way here and don't have the strength to fight the zombies anymore. Let us in and have a full meal first, and then we can go upstairs. It seemed that they didn't plan to leave. I turned around, picked up the stool leg hidden behind me, and slammed it into the glass door. There was a huge noise. The people outside panicked. Damn it, this woman is crazy. The zombies have been attracted here. I looked at them fiercely. That's right, I'm crazy. If you insist on prying the door open and breaking in, let's see if you can pry the door open faster or if I can smash the glass faster. When the zombies come, no one will be able to survive. After that, I slammed the stool leg into the glass again. The zombies outside had a fierce light in their eyes and gathered towards the cafeteria. Although the zombies moved slowly and had low intelligence, no one dared to confront a group of zombies head-on. The tide of zombies would swallow everyone up. I raised the stool leg and confronted them. The leading man spat on the ground reluctantly. Damn it. This crazy bitch. Let's go to the 2nd floor, 14. But when they left, they abandoned Ren. She crawled and tried to chase after them, but someone pushed her down the stairs. We can't get into the 1st floor. What's the use of you? Go down and feed the zombies. Seeing the zombies getting closer, Ren sobbed on the ground in fear. She leaned against the glass door and begged for help. Lyra, for the sake of us being classmates, please open the door and let me in. Okay. I didn't say anything. Ren panicked. I know I shouldn't have fought with you over Max. I'll give him to you. Can you forgive me? She kept looking back because the zombies were almost here. I still didn't say anything. After all this time, she still didn't even know what she had done wrong. I didn't care about Max, and I didn't care about her apology either. If she hadn't deliberately framed me and hadn't killed Aunt Zara at the beginning, I might have let her in, but now, it was too late. The apocalypse had come. Brother Max, you still like me, right? As long as you let me in, I'll forgive you for what happened before. But this time, Max didn't fall for her tricks, he said coldly. I've never liked you. The one I like has always been Lyra. When Ren heard this, her expression was as if she had been struck by lightning. Then, her face contorted with anger. Bitches, you're all bitches. What did I do wrong? I just killed that damned person. Why should that cleaner be on an equal footing with me? She was slow and would hold me back. Didn't she deserve to die? And you, Lyra, you're just a supporting female character. You deserve to die too. I'm the female lead in this world. I have the female lead halo. I don't need your help. I can definitely survive. I can survive. Before Ren could finish her words, a zombie bit her neck from behind, and that zombie was Aunt Zara. Ren struggled. She pushed Aunt Zara away, but 2 more zombies surrounded her and started biting her, not until she was on the verge of death, with corpse spots appearing on her body and her eyes turning cloudy as she started to turn into a zombie. Did the zombies stop biting? I'm the female lead. I won't die. Ugh, huff. Ren could no longer make human sounds. She had completely turned into a zombie and started hitting the glass door unconsciously. I don't know where Max had hidden. I put down the curtain and turned to leave. 15. A month later, the roar of a helicopter sounded outside. The dense crowd of zombies ran following the sound, pouring out from the streets and alleys and gathering in the same place. The country issued a rescue notice, starting from today. Conduct a carpet search and clear out the zombies. The military has established a safe base, and the common people can go there on their own. For those who can't go, supplies will be regularly dropped in each area. Pay attention to collecting them. After waiting for the tide of zombies to pass, I put on my backpack, picked up my weapon, and opened the door of the cafeteria. After taking a look at the shelter where I had stayed for a month, I headed towards the safe base without looking back. Story 2. When the zombie apocalypse broke out. My boyfriend ran off with my best friend and all the supplies. Left with no options, I unexpectedly found myself with over 999 zombie followers. It turns out, in the eyes of the zombies, I was a great beauty. My looks drove all the zombies wild. In this zombie-ravaged world, countless zombies fought over me out of jealousy, food, shelter, status. I lacked nothing. The front lines will be breached in 3 hours, and the infected will soon flood into Z City. Please, all citizens, collect supplies and make all necessary preparations for protection. I stared blankly at my phone, my heart sinking. The so-called infected were the zombies. The underlying message of the emergency announcement was clear. From now on, we were on our own. I quickly woke up my sleeping boyfriend, Adam, and called my best friend, Della, to come over. In the apocalypse, survival meant sticking together with those you trusted the most. We started listing all the supplies we might need on a piece of paper: food, clothing, and weapons for self-defense. We only have 3 hours. What have those people been doing? They are completely unprepared, Adam complained. After quickly taking inventory, we rushed to the nearest supermarket. The supermarket was already in total chaos, with life and death at stake. All the rules of human society were thrown out the window. Get supplies. It was a free-for-all at that moment. A helpless tension filled my heart. Della, you grab the food. Adam, you grab something we can use for defense. Make it something strong, in case we were discovered by zombies. At least there would be a slim chance. However, when we left the supermarket to check our supplies, I realized we hadn't grabbed a single item for defense. I was a bit angry and confronted him about it. Unexpectedly, Adam said, "Why worry? Look at these muscles. Anyone comes at me, and they're getting a couple of good punches. It's the apocalypse. We should be grabbing consumables. Haven't you ever played a video game?" I almost cursed it out loud. Adam, you might be fine, but have you thought about me? Even if we don't encounter zombies, what if we meet some deranged people? I knew well that, in the apocalypse, people could be just as cruel as zombies for supplies. He chuckled dismissively. Come on, you don't think you'd be a target, do you? Besides me, who would be interested in you? Look at yourself. Even a zombie wouldn't have an appetite for you. Maybe you'll even survive till the end. I stared at him in disbelief. Adam, how could you become like this? My friend Della had told me that the apocalypse would strip away everyone's masks. Back then, looking at my caring and gentle boyfriend, I thought we would never turn against each other. Changed. He scoffed with disdain. I'm just telling the truth. If it weren't for me wanting you, you'd probably still be a virgin by now. His mask had fallen, revealing a face full of disdain and harshness. Yes, I wasn't particularly attractive. Plus, my looks had worsened with the stress of working night shifts after graduation. I had sacrificed my youth for what I thought was our future together. Only now did I realize that his future had never included me. All the beautiful memories shattered in an instant. I was furious, pointing at his nose. Adam, if you hadn't shamelessly chased after me, I might not have even accepted you back then. In school, there were plenty more guys after me who were better than you. It seemed my words had triggered some unpleasant memories for him. As his expression turned ugly, I had never seen him look so terrifying. It scared me into taking a step back. He advanced towards me, grinding his teeth as he spoke. Emily, you didn't really think I liked you, did you? Do you think I would willingly play nice with you, this ugly woman, if it wasn't for the fact that you could get me into the company after graduation? Adam spat fiercely on the ground and scoffed coldly. Now do you think you, this burden, have any value to me? Having said that, he got into the car and gave Della a look. My heart skipped a beat. Della, you too? Sorry, Emily, resources are limited. You're on your own. Della also got into the car. The engine roared to life. Adam stuck his head out of the window, his lips curling into a smirk. Emily, just so you know, Della and I have been together secretly for a while. We thought about including you, but since you put it that way, let's each find our own fate. The car suddenly started, and Adam floored the accelerator, taking all the supplies with him, leaving me all alone. Adam, how cruel you are. At this moment, there were only 10 minutes left until the zombies arrived. The supermarket had already been looted empty. Only a few scattered figures remained on the streets, all of whom were unfortunate ones who hadn't managed to grab any supplies. There was no time to worry about supplies now. Surviving was what mattered. I couldn't afford to waste any more time. I rushed at top speed towards the nearest abandoned residential building. The elevator had long since stopped working. I climbed the stairs straight up to the rooftop. I hadn't even caught my breath when another problem arose. The door to the rooftop was already rusted shut and wouldn't lock. This meant that once the zombies discovered me, I was certain to die. But it was too late. Piercing screams came from below as zombies swarmed in like ants, kicking up clouds of dust. Those who hadn't managed to hide were either infected and turned into zombies or torn into pieces. The scene was something even a biohazard movie would consider restrained. All I could do was curl up on the rooftop, trembling as I listened to the screams outside. Any further struggles seemed futile. Perhaps, under the cover of night, I might have a glimmer of hope. Soon, night fell. I was both tired and hungry, struggling to keep my eyes open. I pinched my thigh to remind myself that I absolutely couldn't sleep now. Suddenly, a clanging noise in the stairwell jolted me awake. Several zombies were searching through the stairwell, each with their mouths agape. Remnants of human flesh hanging from their lips. I quickly covered my mouth, afraid to make any noise. Just then, my phone in my pocket received a video call. I intended to hang up quickly, but my trembling hand somehow answered the call. On the screen, Della and Adam's faces appeared. They were eating steaming hot noodles, enjoying the sight of my miserable state. "Emily, you're still alive." "Huh, that's just great," I muttered. "Have you eaten? We don't have much here." "Just some instant noodles to get by." I was so annoyed. The instant noodles were even my favorite flavor. I was about to turn off the video call. Adam's eyes lit up as he looked past me. "Holy crap, with so many zombies behind you, you really are bad luck. Good thing I didn't bring you along." I looked behind me. The zombies, having heard the noise, were swarming up to the rooftop. This was the end. Why were all the zombies coming straight for me? The leader of the zombies seemed to be their king. With a well-defined face and blue pupils, he was surprisingly handsome. Oh no, what kind of luck does Emily have? What did I do to deserve the attention of the zombie king? What was strange though, since they were here, why were they each carrying gifts, Gucci bags, big diamond rings, luxuries I could never afford in a lifetime, and they brought rice, oil, fruits, and vegetables. Seriously, are they here to support the Red Army and show sympathy to the locals? The zombies want to take Emily for a hot pot. "Emily, don't hang up the video. I want to see how zombies eat people." In the video, Adam and Della carefully finished the last sip of their instant noodle soup, not forgetting to tease me. I covered my stomach, which was rumbling with hunger, utterly speechless. Everyone's picking on me. Facing a large group of zombies rushing towards me, I closed my eyes in despair. Countless zombies surrounded me in an instant. 1 second, 2 seconds. 3 seconds. After about 10 seconds, I wasn't torn apart and devoured. Suppressing my fear, I cautiously opened my eyes. To my surprise, all the zombies around me were kneeling on one knee, holding gifts, and looking at me with devout faces, especially the zombie king in front of me, dressed in a tailcoat, sporting a slicked-back hairdo, holding flowers. Wait a minute, the scene, why does it look so familiar? It was like a group of devoted admirers proposing to their goddess. Just then, wearing a white wedding dress, holding flowers, beautiful like a fairy tale, remembering that early summer, I cared for you, being silly together, sang a voice. Cupid gently flies under the moonlight. Pandora hears the answer. The church bells knock the code of happiness. "Oh my love, let's get married. I really want to have a home with you." Music started playing, and a fierce-looking zombie came towards me carrying a speaker. On another side, a zombie lit a large circle of heart-shaped candles. I was completely flabbergasted, wanting to have a home with you, really wanting to have a home with you. Playing this song at this time, Mr. Zombie, is this polite? So, even when zombies eat people, they care about the ceremony. Setting up a candlelit dinner, Adam and Della appeared entertained by the spectacle in the video, seeing their smug faces. I was about to hang up, but then, a whirring sound caught my attention. It was the sound of a drone's wings spinning. I looked up. A small drone was slowly flying towards me, equipped with a miniature camera. I was overjoyed. I immediately started waving frantically at the drone. "This appears to be a standard government drone for emergency reconnaissance. I'm saved." It was a turn of fate that almost brought tears to my eyes. Through a small speaker, the drone shouted at me. "The government rescue organization is doing its utmost to find survivors. Please rest assured. Reinforcements are rushing to your location." I quickly asked, "How long will that take?" "They could arrive in as little as an hour. Please hang in there. The government rescue organization won't give up on any citizen." I was dumbfounded. "Is your camera broken? Can't you see the thousands of zombies surrounding me? And there's even the menacing gaze of the zombie king." 1 hour. By the time the rescue team arrives, the zombies would have finished me off, down to the last bone. On my phone, Adam and Della watched as I went from despair to hope and back to despair. They laughed gleefully at my predicament. "Emily, my dear, I'll mourn for you. We're going to hang up now. This scene is too gory for my delicate sensibilities." With a beep, the video call ended. I gritted my teeth in anger. If I, Emily, survive this, you two are the first I'm coming for. But I knew too well, today was likely my last. At that moment, my dire situation was being live-streamed by the drone. On the other side of the drone, thousands of survivors were watching the live broadcast. It turned into a rescue livestream. Somehow, I had become the main character, a single woman trapped within a massive army of zombies. The sensationalism was explosive. Word spread quickly. Survivors hiding in shelters and ruins crowded into the live stream. Zombies ahead, high buildings behind. She's in a no-win situation. Let's pray for a miracle for this young lady, so full of life, alas. Hey. But why do these zombies move so strangely? It doesn't match their daytime behavior of bloodthirsty killings. In an underground research lab, staff of the Zombie Defense Research Council were also watching the live stream. They observed and noted how zombies ate people, their methods of attack, and so on, all invaluable data. Professor, these zombies aren't acting as you described. They're playing music and setting up candles. It's starting to look more like a human ritual. Zombies have long lost their senses. How could they retain human-like cognitive traits? This must be some mysterious pre-meal ritual. The professor, looking at the screen, confidently defined the situation. A mysterious ritual, yes, probably thinking that performing such rituals could make them stronger, or like in the West, praying before a meal. And what about these fruits and vegetables? Idiot, of course. They're using them as seasoning, behind the screen. Hearts were gripped with fear. No one thought I would survive. In front of me was the most ferocious and bloodthirsty zombie king. His viciousness and combat strength were more than 10 times that of ordinary zombies. Amid the romantic candlelight and music, I quietly awaited my impending death. But then, the scene before me completely shattered my expectations. The ferocious zombie king knelt on one knee, holding flowers in one hand and reaching out to me with the other, just like a prince wanting to take a princess's hand. What prince? This is Emily, facing a bloodthirsty zombie king. The zombie king opened his nearly falling jaw, making unintelligible noises. Despite his murky eyes, there seemed to be a hint of affection. I couldn't understand a word, yet I could feel that he didn't intend to eat me. However, this shocking scene still sent shivers down my spine. Inside the research institute, the experts looked at each other in bewilderment. None of them had seen anything like this before. This must be some sort of pre-dinner ritual. Definitely, one suggested. Baker, turn on the simultaneous zombie language translation. This could be incredibly important for our research. Soon after, the translation was activated, now broadcasting the translation. Then, from the drone, a strange voice was translated. I want to dye my hair the brightest colors and carry the deepest scars, all to find my beloved. What do you think I want to drink? Not blood. I want to protect you. As a zombie, do you know why I caught a cold? Not because I'm chilly, but because I'm utterly defenseless against you. I even went for an infusion today. What kind? Longing for you throughout the night, my dear goddess. You are like a fire in the long night, igniting my long isolated heart, revealing how empty my days are without you. A series of cheesy and cliched lines were translated, combined with the zombie king's imposing and ferocious appearance. The scene was utterly absurd. Not just me, everyone was dumbfounded. What's going on? Is the translation system broken, or have my ears and eyes stopped coordinating? The visuals and audio are a total mismatch. How can such cheesy lines come from a ferocious zombie king? It's so awkward I could break into a laser dance on the spot. It's outrageous. Almighty Zombie King, with all your minions around, how can you say such things? Blink if you're kidnapped, or has someone possessed you? The live chat exploded in an instant. Professor, you said zombies don't engage in courtship. I never said that. The professor replied, awkwardly adjusting his glasses. Maybe. This girl is just irresistibly charming to zombies. Meanwhile, other zombies also started gibbering at me. My queen, you are the light of my life. In this world, only you can command me, and I am willing to be your faithful admirer. I would do anything for you, collect all the human brains you desire. Hearing these words, I was petrified. I'm just an ordinary person with average looks. How did I become a supreme beauty in the eyes of zombies? I've lived for over 20 years and had only a handful of admirers. How and why did I suddenly have so many suitors? And apparently, each one was crazily devoted. Thousands of zombies crowded around, confessing their love like a tidal wave. I used to fear such absurd dreams would bring divine retribution, but their love declarations were so cringeworthy. I wanted to crawl into a hole. Countless viewers were watching, although at this moment, I didn't understand why I had become their goddess. But since they regarded me as their queen, saying that they were at my command, didn't that mean I could start giving them orders? Through the simultaneous interpretation provided by the drone, I cautiously spoke, make way. As expected, the zombies cleared a path for me to descend the stairs. I was shocked. Could they actually have taken a liking to me? The thought of living among a horde of zombies was horrifying. To dispel any fantasies they might have, I quickly made up an excuse. Hey, big zombie guy. I'm pregnant with my scumbag ex-boyfriend's child. Sorry about that. To make them believe me, I even restored a photo of me and Adam from the recycle bin on my phone. Unexpectedly, they responded with outrageous comments. The Queen's child should be cared for by us. As long as you agree, the child can take my last name. I was dumbfounded. They were really laying it on thick. The reaction from the Zombie King was even more intense. He burst into a rage and stood up, threatening to avenge me. His call was met with unanimous support. The zombies held to the skies, their cries echoing like a piercing arrow summoning an army. The entire city's zombie population began to howl violently, shaking the ground beneath them. Even without a translation, I knew they were trying to track down Adam's signal. Soon after, Adam called my phone again. This time, he wasn't showing off but begging for mercy. Emily, it was all my fault. I deserved to die. Can you find it in your heart to forgive me just this once? Through the phone, I could almost see his tear-streaked face. Forgive him. If I did that, I felt I might as well become a saint on the spot. Adam, I've said it before. If I'm fortunate enough to live, you'd be the first one I'd take down. I hung up the phone in silence, coldly addressing all the zombies like a queen. Can you help me catch that betrayer? He needs to pay the price. As soon as I spoke, all the zombies erupted in excitement. They spontaneously formed a search party to hunt down Adam. Some stationed themselves at intersections, setting up checkpoints, while others formed special task forces, chanting slogans like "Avenge the Queen." The scene was spectacular. Adam, now it's your turn to cry. Amidst the large-scale search, a group of zombies escorted me to the Tianhua Grand Hotel. A hotel of such caliber was usually a place I could only glance at while passing by. Now, with the building empty and overtaken by zombies, they turned on all the lights and set up baskets of flowers to welcome me. Although I knew the zombies meant no harm, I was still somewhat afraid, stepping cautiously with each move. However, I soon realized that the zombies were even more timid than I was. Those fierce-looking zombies shyly lowered their heads in my presence, hardly daring to meet my gaze. They quietly served me, like the most loyal servants. Was this the destructive power of beauty? Clang, clang, sounds echoed from behind me. Turning around, I saw a group of zombies carefully prying up the floorboards I had walked on, collecting each piece meticulously, wrapped in a beautiful gift box. It was treated like a treasure. I was completely puzzled. Do you also want to collect the carbon dioxide I exhale? A few minutes later, I was sitting in a luxurious presidential suite. A group of music zombies clumsily began to play their instruments, holding them awkwardly. Surprisingly, it sounded quite good. I couldn't help but applaud. The music zombies were flattered by the attention. One, overly excited, even broke his leg. In less than half an hour, all kinds of human delicacies were served: roast duck, stewed potatoes, beef brisket soup. Is this really the work of zombies? I'd believe it if you told me they were made by human chefs. I hadn't eaten much all day. All pretense of ladylike finesse was thrown out the window. I just picked up the chopsticks and started devouring the food. From the corner of my eye, I saw the gourmet chefs stepping forward. It seemed each was responsible for a dish. Whenever I took an extra bite of a dish, it made the chef who prepared it faint with joy. After the initial 5 dishes, another 9 top-tier dishes were served one after another. I quickly gestured that I couldn't eat that much. I'll get fat, and that won't look good, I said, gesturing. Unexpectedly, my casual remark made the overweight zombies heartbroken enough to jump off buildings. Others immediately started doing weight loss exercises. While exercising, they also shouted, if the goddess would glance at me one more time, I'd be willing to turn into a rack of ribs. After the meal, a zombie waiter with an 8-pack brought out all the hidden wine from the closet in front of me, waiting for me to choose. Wow. One of these bottles could cover my monthly salary. Just because I took a longer look, the zombie waiter eagerly opened it for me. I said thank you out of habit. Looking up, I saw it was a different kind of zombie. Your blue eyes are pretty special, I casually remarked. To my surprise, the zombie excitedly popped his eyeballs out. No, 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 just put them back. It's kind of scary. At that moment, another group of zombies started vying for my attention, eager to impress. The first performed a magic trick. He asked me to guess how many fingers he had. I said 10. Then he turned his back and snapped one off right there. The second tried to impress me by playing the drum, but seeing my calm expression, he dismantled his ribs to use as drumsticks. The third was even more outrageous, wanting to perform a trick called 3 Immortals Return to the Cave, but lacking props. He dug out his own eyeballs to use as props, and since 2 weren't enough, he dug out another from a nearby resentful zombie brother, making up 3 and started juggling. Eventually, one of the eyeballs accidentally fell into the soup. The dumbfounded look on the 2 brothers made me burst out laughing. At my laughter, they immediately cheered woefully. Adam, do you like the show? I held up my phone. On the other end of the video were Adam and Della. At that moment, they were completely devoid of any arrogance or schadenfreude. Both were shivering, sitting there scared. with Della screaming several times in fright. Adam, this is too scary. Let's turn off the video. Della, are you crazy? If you upset Emily Lou, we're all going to get killed by zombies. But I just can't accept it. Why does she get to stay in a luxury hotel, enjoying gourmet food and wine, while we have to hide in this rundown building, scared and eating cheap instant noodles? Let's not talk about it anymore. The corners of my mouth lifted involuntarily. Adam, how does it feel to have a taste of your own medicine? This is just the beginning. Wait until we catch you. It'll be a fate worse than death. Suddenly, my phone vibrated. The message was from the government rescue organization. Miss Emily Lou, the comrades who went to rescue you have been surrounded by zombies. From the drone footage, we witnessed your ability to control zombies, so we earnestly request your help, no matter what. They were in danger because they were trying to save me. I had no reason not to help, so I sent a message back, just 2 simple words, can do, soon. They sent me a video call link. I opened it. The live footage of the rescue team being surrounded appeared before my eyes. In the dark environment, only the sparks from gunfire provided light. The team members were pushed into a 2-story abandoned residential building by hordes of zombies. At that moment, they were making their last desperate stand, after 1 round of bullets was fired. They quickly reloaded and fired another, but there were just too many zombies, relentlessly charging one after another. The screams were utterly terrifying in the night. Bess, how much ammo do you have left? 2 magazines left, and 1 grenade. Captain, the zombies are storming the left door again. I need backup here. Lisa, go support the left door. You must hold on. Captain, it's just a few of us left. Once the bullets are gone, I guess it's over for us. It's not wrong to die with you guys, but I still haven't found my brother. I don't know if he's still alive. Stop talking nonsense. They said help is on the way. Just hold on a little longer and we'll all make it out alive. With so many zombies, even if all the nearby rescue forces came, they couldn't save us. And besides, there's not enough time. Limbs and arms flew everywhere. Screams rose and fell, and the scene was gruesome. As the zombies were too numerous and firepower was running low, several zombies had already broken through the windows and were fighting hand-to-hand with a female team member. Then, one of them slashed her throat. Blood splattered everywhere. Edna, another male team member, blinded by rage at the sight of his loved one's death, ran out of bullets and charged into the crowd of zombies with a knife. You sons of bitches. He was quickly overwhelmed by the zombies. Soon, 3 more were dead. In the end, only 4 team members were left. Captain, we only have 1 magazine left, and all grenades are used up. Use the butt of the gun, and keep holding on. It's over. We're definitely finished. They all dead. Just the few of us can't hold out until help arrives. Like ants, the zombies crazily climbed up the vertical walls, and with only 4 team members left, their firepower was severely insufficient. Desperation was written on everyone's faces. Even the team leader, who always encouraged everyone, knew that there was a high chance he wouldn't make it back. Eventually, the zombies stormed up to the 2nd floor. The 4 of them stood back to back, huddled together. In the leader's hand was the last grenade. Even in death, they refused to become food for the zombies. This was their final act of dignity. Being able to die with my comrades is worth it, he thought. Stop it, Green. It's my fault for not being a strong enough leader. In the next life, we shall be comrades again. As he prepared to pull the grenade pin to annihilate both his team and the zombies, just then, wait a second, Captain, the zombies seem to have stopped. Something outside seems to have drawn their attention, and they're not attacking us anymore. The sounds of combat ceased, and the air suddenly turned dreadfully silent. All the zombies moved outside, looking in one direction as if on a pilgrimage. The 4 of them cautiously peered out the window, following their gaze. Captain, is that our backup? A drone projected on the graffiti wall. The face of a human woman appeared before their eyes. In the hotel, I held my phone, live streaming, looking at the infatuated faces of the zombies. I couldn't help but feel moved. It seems my face works better on zombies than bullets. After coughing twice, I said solemnly, these humans are my friends. If you hurt them, I'll be very upset. I think you wouldn't want to see me upset, would you? My words, translated simultaneously by the drone, reached the crowd of zombies. Captain, who is this woman? Her words made the zombies leave. You're joking, right? A team member scoffed at this. However, reality proved him wrong quickly. Look, the zombies really left. Holy shit, for real? They rubbed their eyes, scarcely believing the miracle before them, but the truth was right there, undeniable. The swarm of zombies, upon hearing my words, acted as if they had received a divine decree. Without hesitation, they all willingly left. For their beloved goddess, they would do anything. After the zombies had left, the 4 team members cautiously came out. They looked up at my projection as if they were witnessing a deity. Fairy sister, what's your Instagram? How about we add each other? Green. who had just doubted me, instantly turned into a loyal admirer. "Sorry, I've got something else to handle," I replied, hanging up the video promptly. It's not that I'm heartless, but the zombies urgently passed on a message. Adam and Della had been found. Adam and Della were tied up in the hotel, at my disposal. The team of zombies that found them looked at me like a dog that had retrieved a bone, eagerly anticipating my reward. "Well done, you truly are the best," I casually praised, making the bloodthirsty zombie king beam like a child. Adam and Della were already trembling with fear. His pants were even wet in patches. I almost lost my composure. "Oh, Adam, didn't you always boast about your strength, claiming anyone who came at you would face your wrath? Yet, when faced with a zombie, you turned out to be even more cowardly than me." Seeing me, Adam immediately shifted on his knees, begging for mercy, desperately grasping for this last lifeline. "Emily, I was just being stubborn before. You know I have a bad temper, and usually, you're the one who puts up with me. You won't mind this time, will you? There was a bit of a misunderstanding in the middle. I know you're angry, you can hit me or yell at me, but you have to believe that I truly love you. We have so many beautiful memories, you can't just forget them all." I watched him plead in his pathetic state with amusement and remained silent, seeing that I wasn't reacting. He quickly shifted the blame to Della. "It's all because of this woman seducing me. She's been doing it behind your back. I was momentarily blinded and made mistakes following her, but I've been regretting it ever since, only thinking about making amends with you." Della became frantic upon hearing this. "What do you mean I seduced you? Have some shame. Wasn't it you who kept asking me out for meals and movies? Would I have gotten involved with you otherwise?" Perhaps finally seeing Adam's true colors, Della quickly distanced herself from him and clung to my legs. "Emily, I was confused back then, and now looking back, I really regret it. Our years of sisterhood," she sobbed, tears streaming down. "What a joke, pretending to be all sisterly when it was you who agreed to run away with me. Adam, you bastard, you promised to protect me if zombies came, but you coward. You got caught by them so quickly." Both were extremely selfish. Now that they had completely fallen out, their insults grew even harsher. The show wasn't over yet. The zombie king charged forward, pried open their mouths, and brutally pulled out their tongues with his claws. "You don't deserve to speak to our queen, you two selfish humans." I waved my hand dismissively. What a pity to interrupt such entertainment. Wouldn't it be better to let them live a little longer? Adam and Della instantly understood, ignoring the pain of their fresh wounds, and kept kowtowing to me. I looked coldly at these two, once the most important to me, yet also the ones who hurt me the deepest. I am a soft-hearted person, but these two truly don't deserve my forgiveness. Dragged these two cursed beings away. Before I could finish, a loud noise of fighting erupted outside. My nerves tensed instantly. Was the hotel under attack? Could it be the government rescue organization? Impossible. They knew I was in this hotel. If not humans, then I went up to the second floor of the hotel and looked out the window. Two groups of zombies were tangled in a fight, and clearly, the zombies on the other side were stronger. The zombies beside me told me that these were the more powerful combat zombies. "My queen, we will protect you to the death." Then, under the lead of the zombie king, all the zombies charged out. The hotel was instantly empty, leaving just Adam, Della, and me. Suddenly, a loud laugh echoed through the hall. Adam burst into maniacal laughter, his pain soaked in blood only fueling his madness further. He knew both he and Della were not going to make it out alive, yet, seeing me in danger brought him a perverse joy. I snorted coldly, dismissing him as a lost cause. However, given the situation outside, it seemed likely that the combat zombies would soon breach our defenses. The priority was to call for immediate support. I dialed the government aid organization and briefed them on our situation. Shortly after, I received a multi-person call from afar. Seeing their names made me gasp. These were key figures from governments worldwide. I witnessed Emily commanding the zombies. It was utterly shocking, truly unprecedented. One remarked, "Emily represents hope for humanity, a vital key to our survival. She must be protected jointly by all governments." Another added, "I agree, with Emily's capabilities, there's a chance for humans and zombies to coexist peacefully." I was hailed as the hope of all humanity. The brief meeting had one focus, to mobilize all resources at any cost to ensure my protection, but it was too late. The hotel doors had been breached. A horde of combat zombies, their mouths agape and claws ready, stormed in, their menacing eyes soon fixed on me. Swallowing nervously, I thought, if I am to die, Emily, so be it. I refused to end up like Adam, paralyzed by fear. But then, as the combat zombies approached, they suddenly dropped to their knees. "What on earth?" My jaw nearly hit the floor. "You are the dream in our nightmares. Without seeing your face, even feeding loses all meaning. Please come with us. We will offer you the best the world has to offer." I was taken aback. Turns out, they were just another group of sycophants. Adam and Della were completely stunned. The looks they had scorned were now my greatest asset. Disappointed, It seems I have quite a following among the zombie crowd, I said. With a wave of my hand, a new batch of sycophantic zombies dragged them into a room and locked them up. They liked hoarding supplies, so I decided to let them starve. It was said that every night, the hotel echoed with their hungry howls, heartbreaking to hear, tear-jerking to see, unfortunately. The comfortable soundproofing of the plush hotel room meant I heard none of it. From dawn to dusk, I was attended to diligently. More than 10 days later, Adam Mandela succumbed to starvation, reduced to mere skin and bones, even though the international forces couldn't dispatch armed help in time when the combat zombies attacked the hotel. The power of my appearance once again astounded them. Thus, the global consensus was firm. My appearance was a talisman for protecting humanity. Consequently, a special force was assigned covertly to ensure my safety. They even sent photographers to take portraits and promotional videos of me, which were displayed around survivor camps to ward off zombie attacks. Anyone attacked by zombies could use my photo as a protective charm. It was rumored that zombies, upon seeing my photos and videos, could suppress their bloodlust and refrain from harming humans. This immediate effect quickly made my portraits and videos highly sought after, fetching sky-high prices yet remaining priceless. In every household, there are more or less several portraits of me. I've become the most famous superstar in the world. Even when I'm browsing on my phone, I find that many people have spontaneously organized fan clubs supporting me. Team Emily, north of the equator. Emily is the most beautiful. Emily, the goddess, my deity. The membership is not small, numbering in the hundreds of millions. Seeing these slogans almost made me spit out my soda. Sigh, having too many overzealous fans can sometimes be a hassle. This has given humanity a much-needed breather. During this period, research institutes developed an artificial plasma capable of replacing human blood with an adequate food supply. The zombies lost their primal drive and their attacks on humans gradually decreased. Over the next decade, humans and zombies began to coexist peacefully. All this, thanks to my extraordinary beauty. The United Nations and the zombie race jointly elected me as the ambassador of human-zombie friendship. When I gave my acceptance speech, half of the audience was zombie fanatics and the other half, devoted human fans.